What's going on, guys? John Alder here from Codemy.com, and in this video, we're going to update our registered users for our Musker Twitter clone app with Django and Python. Alright guys, like I said, in this video, we're going to update our registered users. But before we get started, if you like this video, want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com, where I have dozens of courses with thousands of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube50 to get 50% off lifetime membership to all my courses, videos, and books for a one-time fee, which is insanely cheap. Okay, so in the last video, we set up this registration page where people can register for the site. So now if we log in, for instance, we can go to a profile page, but we can't actually do anything. We want to be able to actually update our information. So if you want to change your name or your password or your email or anything like that, you want to be able to do it from this page. So that's what we're going to work on in this video. So let's head over to our code. I'm using the Sublime Text Editor in the Git Bash terminal as always. And as always, you can find a link to the code in the pinned comment section below, as well as a link to the playlist with all the other Musker Twitter clone app videos in the series. So check that out if you haven't so far. All right, so let's head over here to our urls.py file. We need a few things, one of which is a link. So let's go ahead and just copy one of these. And instead of register, let's say update_user. And instead of register user here, let's say update user. And let's name this guy update_user. Okay, so we've got this URL. Now we need this view. So let's save this and head over to our views.py file. And let's just come down here and create a new function. We want to pass in the request as always. So for now, let me just grab one of these guys and paste it in. And instead of register.html, we want update_user.html. And for now, we don't need to pass anything just yet. We will in a second. Okay, that looks good. Now we need this actual web page. So let's head over here to our templates, right click new file, save as, and let's save this as update_user.html. And let's look in here and grab our register code. I'm just going to copy all of this for now. That looks good. And we're going to actually need all this stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave this in here. Instead of register, let's call this update_user. Okay, so let's head over to update_user. And there we go. Okay, so the page works, but there's absolutely nothing on it. So what we want to do is we want to flash up basically the registration screen that we have earlier. So we log out. We want this form to pop up. We want it already filled out with our user's information, and then they can just update whatever they want and click the button and fill it out. So how do we do that? Well, let's log back in real quick here. First off, let's go to the profile page, and let's put a link on this page to update the profile, because this is our profile page. We want to put a little thing here that says update or something like that. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So head over to our templates and our profile page. And let's come down here to wherever the buttons are at the bottom. And somewhere down here, I'm just going to type test so we can make sure we're in the right spot here. Okay, there we go. That looks good. So let's create just a Django URL tag here. And let's go URL. We want to point this to update_user. And let's create a link, ahref equals, point it to that guy. And let's give this a class of btn and btn-secondary. And let's say update profile, something like that. If we come back over here, hit reload. Okay, we've got this now. Let's make this outline so it fits in better here. Let's go btn outline-secondary. Okay, that looks good. Now, the problem with this is if we go to our profile list and we click on Bob's, for instance, it still has this update profile. Now, we don't want to be able to update Bob's profile, right? So we need to put some logic in here for that. So we could do that really easily. So let's come down here and let's do some logic here. Let's say if. Now, we know who we are. We are the request.user.id. So that will grab our ID. So we can say, hey, if our ID equals the ID on this page. So that's profile.user.id. So if that's true, show this button, right? Otherwise, don't. So we don't even need to do anything but close our if. So we can end our if. So let's tab this over, and you can comment here if you want. Check for correct user, whatever. There we go. So let's head back over here and reload this guy, and boom, that button disappears. If we go to my profile up here, the button now exists again. So, okay, that looks good. So now when we click on this, we're going to this page, update user. A couple of things. If we copy this link and log out and then just try to go to this page, you can. And now we don't want this page to appear if you're not logged in. So we need to fix that real quick. So we can do that. And let's head over to our views.py file. And let's go if request.user.is_authenticated. Then we want to do something else. What do we want to do? Let's send up a little message that sends a person back to the home page. It says, you must be logged in to view that page, ... Okay. Otherwise, let's grab this thing and pop it there. Okay, so that should work. Let's test that out just to make sure. So let me copy this URL, hit reload, log out, try and go back, and boom, we get a message that says you must be logged in to view that page. Okay, perfect. So now all we have to do is finish building out this page with the form and the ability to update it. So how do we do that? Well, it's actually pretty easy. We could come in here to our view. And first, we need to figure out who the current user is. So I'm going to create a variable called current_user. And this is just going to be our user.objects.get. And we want to get the user with the ID of the request.user.id. So whoever's currently logged in, they have an ID because you have an ID if you're logged in. So we could pass that ID into this function to get that user. But we're calling the user model. And if we come up here to the top here, we don't have the user model. So let's go to our forms.py file. And let's see, here is the model. From django.contrib.auth.models, we want to import user. So we can just copy this whole thing, bring it over to our views.py file, paste it in, and now we can use the user model in our view. So that's pretty cool. So come back down here to update our user. So we know who the current user is, right? Well, let's pass their information onto the sign up form. So let's create a form, and that's just going to be our sign up form. And we have played around with the sign up form earlier when we did our register user. And in the last video, we passed in the post to our sign up form. What we want to pass in this time is the instance of this user. So we could do that by calling request.post or none, right? So they're either going to the page or they're posting the page. If they're going to the page, we just want to show the page. If they're posting the page, we want to do something else. But here is where we can pass in the instance of our current_user, right? So that will take all of the current user's information, their registration information, and pass it into this form that we can then put on the page. So let's do that. Let's grab this form, come down here, and just pass it into the page. And that's really kind of all there is to it. So if we come back over here and hit refresh, boom, you see update user, admin. There's my email address. I don't have a first name or last name because I didn't put that in when we registered. But if we head over to our admin section and we look at our users, we have several users here, but I think we'll actually create a new user to test this out. But for now, well, actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's log out, let's register. So I want to register Codemy, right? And that's John Elder. Let's say john@john.com. Wouldn't that be a great domain name? And pick a password. Okay, so we can go to my profile, update profile, John Elder, john@codemy.com, password. Okay, so the form works. This is great, but it doesn't actually save anything yet. So we need to tweak it a little bit. So we've got this here. So let's test to see if the form.is_valid, right? So if the form is valid, if they filled it out and clicked the button, then we just want to form.save, right? And then let's create a little message and redirect them. So let's say your information has been, or let's say your profile has been updated. There we go. And we want to pass them to what? Let's send it to the home page. So let's go ahead and save this now. This is actually kind of interesting. This will save it, but if we come back over here, click on update profile, and let's change this to John 2. If we click register, we got to enter our password here. There we go. You look, the login thing is here. It actually logs us out if we update our user registration. It's just a quirk of the Django authentication system. So if we log back in as Codemy and go to our profile and click this, it does in fact say John 2. So it did update it. It just logged us out, which is weird. So we could fix that super easily. After we just save, we can just log in the user. So we pass in the request and the current underscore user, which we already know is this guy up here. And that'll just sort of log us in. So that should fix that. So if we save this, head back over here. Let's change this from John 2 back to John. Oh, this says register. We want to fix that. Let's come back over here to our update user. And instead of the button saying register, let's say update profile. All right, that's better. Save that. Reload that. Okay, now the button says update profile. Change this to 2. Update profile. We're still logged in now. We can go to our My Profile. That says John 2. We take the 2 off of there. User password. Update this again. Boom, it goes back. We are not logged out again. It says your profile has been updated. We can go to our profile, click on update profile, and that 2 is gone. So, okay, seems to work and pretty simple. So this is very cool. We can now register, log in, log out, update our own profile. We can only see the profile page if we're logged in, and we can only see our profile page. So if you for instance, log out and log back in as admin and go to my profile and click this, we just get the admin user. So maybe I can change this to John Elder. There we go. Update our profile. Boom. Your profile's been updated. Update profile. Yeah. And there we go. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com where you can use coupon code YouTube50 to get 50% off lifetime membership. So it's access to all my courses, over 50 courses, thousands of videos, and the PDFs of all my best-selling coding books. Join over 150,000 students learning to code just like you. My name is John Elder from Codemy.com, and I'll see you in the next video.